got me something to eat. And, bitch, let me say something else before I motherfucking go about Alexis K. Tyler, vagina power, and the resurrection of the goddess and the God. My students, my loyal students, put my goddamn cash app in this bitch. Click like. I still ain't got dressed yet, goddamn it. So I'm getting myself together. So I don't want to put it on me. I'm sitting here in the dark by the candlelight, goddamn it. Click like. Click subscribe. Hey, Yolanda. And share this video and shit and give me goddamn hit that cash app for a bitch. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Alexis K. Tyler, Vagina Power, the resurrection of the goddess and the God for 2022, bitch. It's me, bitch, but your regular child dog looking ass bitch, it ain't you. God damn it. Talking about I'm touching my son. Let me tell you something, bitch. When you don't know that you're a goddess and that you will give birth to gods and goddesses, and you've been damaged, humiliated, degraded, and abused by the bitch that conceived you in her womb and then brought you out of her stinking ass and tell you you're nothing and you're nobody and you're so unvaluable to me that I gotta tell you that bitch, you little bitch, that you ruined my life and the nigga. I didn't want you anyway. I was just fucking you trying to get a keeper nigga, baby. He don't want me either. So now, bitch, you're expendable to me. You mean nothing to me. So let me find the place to drop your motherfucking ass off and abandon you because now you are a kink and my armor. You are a problem to me. You don't fit into my life. Now I got to get out here and find another nigga and hustle to get my money, bitch. So I wish I could unhave you or I can undo the pregnancy. And would always say I should have aborted you because you're not shit, you stupid bitch. I ought to blow your fucking brains out. To hear that every day. You don't know. Yeah, well, see, this is how I'm going to respond. So this will get you prepared. If you want to come to Vagina Power School, and I want to show you how to undo and break all the rules that have made you feel that you are nothing and living in inferiority and mediocrity. Even though you got an education, you probably got money and all that other stuff, but you still feel fear and different parts of mediocrity and degradation in your soul. And that wounded little girl walking around you that needs to be restored and made whole, goddammit. Then you want to come to the Vagina Power University, goddammit, and resurrect the goddess and the God. And if I don't care what no fucking bitch say, if you have given birth to a boy, you have given birth to a son, you got a God, a mini God that don't know he's God, walking around this life in this world. Especially like my experience and my misfortune. Well, my son was actually getting high with my stinking ass, no good ass birth mother. You couldn't get me to do it. She was getting high with my sister. They offered it to me. I passed. My son knew this and saw this. And it was even my son's father, some of his nephews, that was my son's cousin, they were older than him, getting him high, getting him drunk, getting his dick sucked at 12 and 13 years old. I didn't know this. My son never told me. I thought it was good that his father didn't want to help me or him or be around us, that it was good. He was letting him get to know his cousins and his uncles and things. And I didn't realize that's how, wow, what kind of favor you do him and what kind of favor you do me. You give your adults, young adults, you give my son drugs, you give him alcohol. And I'm wondering why my son wouldn't obey me, wouldn't stay in school. I found out the teacher would tell me he was skipping school, not doing his work, got involved with gangs. He had a serious problem looking for a daddy, looking for a father figure. That's what's wrong with our boys. I don't care what people say, and I've heard women say, and even be masculine like men, and a lot of women turn gay as they're raising children and raising boys. You're not a man. I don't care how many sex changes you get or you acting like a man walking talk. That child know that you are a damn woman with a pussy, a hole in your motherfucking ass. You are not his father. You will never be a father figure. No matter how much you work and pay bills and trying to be tough and fight him like a man and handle him like a man, you are not a man. And that child is a deficit. I don't care how much money you make and you can pay bills and take care of him and all that shit. You really not taking care of him in the way he needs to be taken care of, because the father energy that is the leader and that's the protector and the shield to the mother and the children is absent for whatever reason. And you did not get a divine replacement to be a husband, teacher, lover, friend to you, and a role model and protector, head of the household, and a shield for the children and the wife, or the mother. It's just nobody going to, I don't care how much of a woman I am, I will never ever feel or say that I can be a daddy to you and I could be a man. I'm not a goddamn man. And boys are more intuitive than you think they are, little boys, because little boys, like my son told me, he said, Mama, when you would meet certain men, and I was a little boy, 7, 8 years old, and I would clown and act up when the man came over or when we went out to dinner, because I would always keep him in the living room. And when my son would act up like that, I would cut the relationship off or see them by myself, because I knew my son did not like them. He said, Mama, I would do that because I knew that even though I was a little boy, Mama, you were sweet and you was naive and you didn't think you was pretty and you didn't like yourself and you didn't think you was strong or smart or any of that. And I knew as a little boy, all they wanted to do was fuck you and leave you alone. And I say, you knew that as you was little? Because I knew I started to see my son could see spirits and discern spirits like me. I said, oh, Lord, I have given this child this curse, which was also a gift and a blessing at the same time. He said, I could see them and you couldn't until it was too late. He said, so I had to do that because I was trying to run them away because I know you couldn't protect yourself. I was always worried because I knew men thought you were pretty, but you didn't. And you would let them be around, think they was doing you a favor, and they just want to use you and throw you away. And I would try to stop it from happening because you didn't know who you were. And a lot of you, I'm sure, have had little boys that were unruly like that when you had a man living with you or stepdad or something, and that child wouldn't embrace that man because they see something you don't. Hmm? And they see you a weak bitch, and you want a companion, and you lonely, and you feel so bad and blame yourself because you got what a man didn't want, neither one of y'all, and left and in and out of the boy's life. And the boy gets into stuff because you're not enough. You are enough in a way that you take care of them and you love them. They can't see it till they get older. When they get children of their own, you defend them, you protect them, but and then sometimes you don't because you let a nigga come in there that's not their daddy because that man is there for you. And you don't see it that the man is not there for the child. And the child, even if he tries to be, the child won't bond because the child is mad at their father and they're mad at you because they think it's your fault that they left, and they take the resentment and the rage out from the father that they can't do to him on you and the daddy that's there because they will never see it as their father, their real biological father. So you have problems, or they see something about the nigga you don't see, like the nigga dog ass nigga, the nigga's a hoe, or the nigga want to fuck his little sister. Shit, you know, it's a lot of things children see. You underestimate little boys, like I underestimated mine because I underestimated myself. Usually things we don't see in our children is because really deep down you don't see that shit in yourself. You don't respect your son as being a strong man with wisdom and gifts and very intelligent as a little boy because you don't see it in yourself. And you're looking to fill a void and a hole with some dick in your pussy hole and in your first chakra in your ass. See? Anytime a woman can abuse her child and berate her son and insult him because you're mad at his daddy, that's really about the woman in the mirror that you refuse to face and accept responsibility because that child didn't ask to be here, just like you didn't ask to be here. But you brought them into a situation that you refuse to control because you didn't know that you had vagina power and gold in your motherfucking pussy hole. So when you understand that, which is one of the reasons, and you can see me in a video, I did a video, we were getting ready to do another one, then my son got attacked by the police, where the police tried to kill my child and beat him in his face and messed his face up. And we didn't think that he would heal. That was like in 2015, and then he got arrested again, and he told me what my mother was doing with him, literally trying to destroy him, but he couldn't see it and thought she was fun to get high with your fucking granny, a dirty, stinking, fat bitch. But it's clear that my son had a lot of issues with me and his father that he didn't want to face and admit, and clearly a lot of low self esteem and self hate and things he went through outside of jail and then led him into prison. And now me and my son are closer because he told me things he didn't like about me. And I told him things I didn't like about him. And we went all the way back. He knows my childhood. I didn't hide nothing. And about my pregnancy, how I got pregnant in a relationship with him and me and his father. And I know that hurt him, that devastated him to have a father do me so dirty and do him so dirty. And he saw the things. He saw how his father would just deliberately create opportunities to hurt me. Even when I never hurt him back, I would never respond like he did. I would always take the high road and let him see his child. And that he had a lot of rage about that. And now him and his father talking, he told his father how enraged, how he want to beat his ass. And his father listened to him and they talked, they're working through it. I don't know everything they say. I just listen when he wants to share. I don't try to force him to share because I feel like it's my fault because I brought my child into this situation with a man that I definitely was a young child in an adult body, sexually adult body, able to get pregnant and was very immature. I brought him into this space. So I'm close to him even when I don't feel well. Whenever he needs me, I answer that phone. I read his letters. I keep all of them. I never throw anything away. I found something from I think like the third or fourth grade. We won one of his projects together. I will never throw away anything. And I always tell him that I'm sorry. I always apologize for things that I just didn't know. And I didn't know how to be a good mother. I didn't even like myself. I'm a baby raising a baby, and I don't keep secrets. I don't want to keep in, even if it's painful, embarrassing. I don't keep secrets from my child. I tell him everything. He knows all my pain, and he's angry about the way people have done me, the way he saw men do me, the way he saw my mother, her husband doing the things she allowed, and now the things she did with him. He knows now it wasn't cute. It's not cool to do that to a child, especially your daughter's child. And he's very angry, and it caused him to be an addict. And I didn't know that that was going on. And I would ask him because and he refused. He would always say, "That's not true, Mom. That's not true. I'm not getting high." I said, "But I saw it in a vision. The spirit told me that you're doing that." "No, Mom, I promise. I said, I'm not going to help you with your music, but you stay with my mother, and I know she's an addict. Are you doing that?" And she, "No, Mom." I said, "Do you promise?" "I promise, Mom." Lying the whole goddamn time. And now we talk about that, and he hid a lot of his pain and problems by doing that. And one thing I know by being given the doctrine and the manuscript of vagina power, spiritual sexuality, and where it starts with a wounded child, the wounding of the child. When you don't know that you are born as an adult and a god and a goddess, you're just getting a little body to reincarnate, to start over based on the karma. Many times we pick our parents because we've known them in some capacity before and they were our enemy before. They get permission to come in and we think we need to learn, we need the experience, so we bring them in. Although it's painful, we don't consciously remember that this is what we agreed to, but we can end it anytime we want by learning the lesson and standing in vagina power. No matter how hard it hurts, and get them the fuck out your life and stop being a victim and reincarnating and reliving the victimization. And one thing I understand, I did a video a long time ago called The Power of Touch. And that's why I stopped going to certain doctors. I wouldn't get a vaginal exam, anything by a doctor I felt didn't like me and didn't respect me and would hurt me. I hate pap smears. They're painful to me. I don't like them putting that metal thing up in you and cranking and opening your ass. So this shit hurts. It's not pleasurable to me at all. And I don't want another one unless I really, really had to get another one. I don't like strangers touching me. That's what a doctor, stranger touching you and caring nothing about you or what prescriptions they give you. It doesn't matter to them. It's just about money. And even if they care, if they give you prescriptions, they still really don't care because they know that shit is toxic and they don't really get to the root of your problem because then you won't keep coming back and giving them your fucking money. And I got worse every time I went to a doctor. And every time I went to a doctor, I could tell them what was wrong with me, even though they said it wasn't because I wasn't the doctor and I didn't have a medical degree until they did the test I begged them to do. And then they look down and they don't want to say it, but then they have to admit, Alexis, this is what you said, and we see it, and this is how I'm going to help you fix it. I always knew. And the doctors I went to ended up respecting me, that I went to on a regular basis, because I would always know why I was there and where it was and why. I just didn't have the medicine to create the solution. Um, I just really don't want to be around them. I don't want to be touched anymore, especially with all the hell I've gone through. And I'm telling you, I'm swollen. I'm sick. My eyes are swollen. I keep getting infections in my head, in my throat, in my chest. And they're saying we don't know what it is. But they should have recognized the possibility of mold, because this is what they do all day and all night. But yet, I was always undiagnosed and sick. Thank God I finally stood up for myself and fought him this time. Got the testing, even though it's late. I'm still breathing and I'm still alive. And I want to thank you all for loving me, supporting to me, donating to me, helping me, because better late than never. And as long as I'm still breathing, even though I'm sick, there's still a chance to get the right doctors to find the cure for me and find a solution until I leave. And I'll get other treatments here, but at least I'm stabilizing right now. And I'm dealing with a lot of apologies to myself and self-love and respect. And I apologize to my son, as well as letting him know, because he's like, Mom, please don't leave me. Mom, please don't die. Are you okay, Mom? He'll call me, are you okay, Mom? Can you talk to me, Mom? And I'm like, look, I don't care how I feel. If I'm sick, I'll still talk to you. I'll tell you I'm sick, but I'll still talk to you. You're my baby. So how does that look? Me turning my back on you, and I brought you into this world. I owe you. I really feel like I owe my child. And I don't know if any of you that are listening to me right now, or that will listen to this later, if you've ever had children that were in and out of jail and juvenile while they were minors, and then once they weren't minors, they went to prison. I don't know if you know what that feels like, because I beat myself up and I blamed myself. But now it took years. Now I don't, for some of my son's actions, because I'm like, you never saw niggas fucking me, using me. You never seen a nigga beat my ass. You never saw me do drugs. You never saw me smoke crack or any of that. You never saw me be an alcoholic. I always fought not to, because I had you to make me not go into those temptations, because I didn't know what would happen to you. And it just breaks my heart that this is the way. But then again, like I said, I understand when somebody's mind is under black magic, and they put black magic on drugs, whatever you're drinking. And my mother is a black magician. And she gets pleasure off of other people's pain and stealing their soul and stealing their birthrights. So she worked to steal mine and then to steal my child's. And I knew he was seduced and mesmerized by my mother and her money and things. But she always bragged about the black magic power in her spells. And so she would destroy me and basically watch my son be destroyed, and that she would kill my grandmother and put curses on us. And she would laugh. She thought it was funny. But now I see that I got the last laugh, because she's very ill. She's alive, but she's ill. And so I know that he was mesmerized and the curse went through me. So as I'm breaking it on me and I'm teaching him, he's breaking it on himself. But I knew, okay, when you have a son, a boy child, especially a child of color, in that prison system, all it is a modern day walking, talking, floating slave ship. Dealing with COINTELPRO, taking their opportunities, giving them high sentences that they don't give white folks or anybody else, creating excessive amounts of jail for small amounts of drugs, or they basically make up shit for them. And it's usually young men who are wounded little boys inside and looking for a father figure, or leaders. They get tied up in the gangs. They get tied up in selling drugs, doing the drugs. And usually their own friends, fake friends, set them up to go in there. And the police create these types of atmospheres by creating certain communities and ghettos and laws, and dump it there, and then create a scenario for them to fall into it, even work with them, have informants, and lock as many of our children up as possible. So they're stuck in there to experience and say and do things they would not normally do, and introduce them to homosexuality and introduce them to self-hatred and to make them kill each other to survive. Only the strongest survive. It's either prey or predator. It's nothing in between. And I would always go in there and visit him. And I felt like it was my job to understand, but many things he wouldn't tell me. He would block me out, and that's why I became literally like a gang mom. Like I let the gang members sleep here, eat here. They hung out here. They cried on my shoulders when their mamas put them out at night, and it's cold. It's 20 degrees, and they had nowhere to go. And they called my son. He's like, "Mama, can such and such come stay over here? Her mama just put her out, and it's like 20 degrees, and it's after midnight, and she's there with her boyfriend, but she won't let the girl in." And I said, "Go open the door. Let me get the blankets and sheets and stuff." I said, "Will she hurt us or cause us any problem?" "No, mama." And they didn't. They never did. They might be violent in them gangs and stuff, and you think they're cold, but they're babies. They're wounded babies inside, and they have to be tough on the street to survive and show no weakness. Caring or crying or whining is a weakness. So they hold it in, but they would open up when they got here. And I would hug on them and love on them. And they never hurt me. They never stole anything from me, nothing. Because I hated the choice what my son made. But I said I would never do to him what was done to me. And I never put him outside ever. If he left, he would leave on his own because when I knew about the drugs, I said, "You cannot do that here. And your friends cannot do that here. And I know there's something's wrong with you. I don't know what you can hide off of. I don't know drugs because I've never done them. I never sold them. I didn't hang around that. But I had to have his lawyer tell me that that's what it was because he kept getting in trouble. And when I asked him, I knew it was true because he wouldn't look at me. And I had to turn him around and look him in the face. I said, "Is that what it is? Because you know I don't know." And the way he responded, he didn't answer, but I knew my child was on that stuff. I just didn't know my mother was involved, and that his father's nephews were involved. And it broke my heart. And I beat myself up for it. But I realize now, like he says, "Mama, I've been to counseling and I realized that I have to take responsibility for what I do and don't do. You didn't make me get on drugs. You never did drugs. You never had them around. You never sold them. You never had nobody around me to give them to me. It's my responsibility." And from being in there, you can feel the fear. You can feel the suppression. It's like they put a spell on these facilities because Masons and occultists own and run these jails and this whole political system. And our children are the ones they target. And it was such a heaviness and depression, like walking down those long halls and going to the cab county jail so many times. And the corridors, it's like a big tower. And you have to go down this elevator like you're going into the bowels of hell. And you walk these long corridors, literally like you walk into the electric chair. That's what it felt like. But I had to be strong for my child. And I saw other women that were executives. And when I talked to a couple of them, they didn't want people to know they were there. And they would embarrass me, my education, my money, my home, my car, my degrees. What is my child doing here? Because I understand you need money, your education, and to thrive in this world. But your education, your money, and degrees, you fed that. And I understand you felt like you had to be able to take care of them. But the child was made a latchkey kid. And what you wasn't giving them, a predator was waiting to give and lead them into hell and jail and a life of crime and addiction. So I saw them there, and they would say how they didn't want anybody to know they were there picking up their child. This shouldn't be happening to them, like they were above that and better than their money, their education protected them and rose them above. But it didn't protect your baby. It didn't protect your little boy, who's public enemy number one. There's a secret agenda and a secret proclamation on your boy. Hmm. The Willie Lynch theory and the slave mentality. So I would see how my son lit up, and I would put my hand on the glass, and he would put his there because we couldn't touch them. We had to talk to them on the phone, and now you can't see them because of COVID, and basically they want to restrict contact with your sons, your babies. So you get to see them now on the phone, on a video chat. Because with COVID and stuff now, you can't, they might have certain places you can visit them, but a lot of times you can't. And see, that goes back to what I said in the first video, how this this thing, this dog, this child dog, has the nerve to, because I touch my child and I'm grooming my child and I'm teaching him the female side of the game. And just like Tupac said, keep your head up. He said, you got your name from a woman and your game from a woman. I give my son a lot of game that only a woman could do, his mother could do. And one thing I know and I understand as a mother, as a woman who carried that child in my ass, in my stomach, in my hips, in my uterus, in my chest, in my breast, in my soul. I carried that child and I'll never forget it. One thing I know, one of the best ways and most successful and destructive ways to destroy your child and to make that child feel like nothing and unloved is to not touch that child. I don't care if your son is 30 years old. I don't care if he's 60 years old. To have a young man that came out of your soul, out of your guts, which is comprised of your first, second, and third chakra, in your belly, in your bowels of living water. It doesn't matter how beautiful the women are, how good they fuck them and suck dick, and how good that woman makes him feel. It will always be a void in him if he feels like his mother never accepted him and never loved him, or when he was wounded, because they are truly POWs. They are prisoners of war when they are put in this legal system, and now they pulled away a lot of the educational programs where you have the opportunity to go to college in prison, you have computers in prison, you want to get educated, even have books in there. They've taken that away from them so they could be just like scavengers, and just like that boy that they praising now, that do that gay shit and did that video like he in prison, greased up, sucking dicks all day, happy as a sissy in damn boot camp. And my son said, Mama, that doesn't happen like he did that video of men just walk around all day with grease on them and get fucked all in the ass and suck dicks. He's like, nobody, prisons are not set up that way. He said it happens, but there's really not that much raping unless it's in certain states or certain jurisdiction. Every prison is not like that. Everybody does not get raped. And it turned out a lot of that sex is consensual and it's for that. Or that's she said, Mama, like men go off by themselves when they want to fuck each other and suck dick. They privately do that shit. Like, it's not very much of people being forced to suck dick or fucked in the ass. It's like it happens, he said, but not that much. The gay shit niggas are doing on their own. And the women just don't know. It's not like what he did in that video. Like his life is not like that at all. It's structured in here. And everybody don't do that. And I was like, he's like, that made me upset. And he's like, no, Mama, when I heard about it, and he said, no, they have chores, they have classes, they're being told when to get up, when to lay down. They have a certain amount of time outside, depending on your crimes, or if you get no time at all, maybe 24 hours or 22, 23 hours in lockdown and 1 hour of sun and fresh air. It doesn't work that way. Yes, please put my cash up. Thank you, babies, for putting my cash up and click the like and subscribe and share. They are deprived of emotion, like positive emotion. It's a high threat zone, a high fear zone, and a very non-nurturing zone. Eat or be eaten, kill or be killed. And a lot of them have PTSD. When they get out of that, they need counseling. They have a lot of mental problems, or they even need an SSI check and a lot of therapy because of what they've seen. He's like, Mom, it's like you laughing and talking to your homeboy, and you building a bond with certain people or certain cliques. He said, then while you laughing and talking, all of a sudden somebody come up and right in front of you, your nigga get wet up and stuck, just stabbed all over and murdered in front of you. Dropped in front of you. Y'all laughing and talking, all of a sudden a nigga dead on the floor, bleeding, blood leaking everywhere. He's like, and can you imagine how traumatic that is? It fucks you up. And you see that and you hear that every fucking day. Get fed slop, get talked to by the guards. You'll be back here, you stupid motherfucker. You in here, you get out, you're going to come right back. We're going to see you again because you a dumb motherfucker. You ain't shit. Like talking to them like that. every day, and feeling no connection because you can't show emotion. Because if you do, you're considered weak, and then you're set up as a target. Or many, I talked to a lady, and I had to straighten her because she didn't know like I knew. She was giving her son thousands of dollars every month. And he would always say he didn't have any money. And I said, I'm going to tell you what's going on, what I learned from my son. Your either your son, and I saw him, he was big and fine. I said, either your son is physically strong and mentally, emotionally weak, or he has a lover that he's fucking in the ass or getting fucked in the ass and getting his dick sucked. And it feels so good to him. He's taking care of his lover, or he's gambling. He has a lot of debt, or he's paying for protection. She said, why would you say that? Why would you? I said, because my son's been in there. And I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to think this is crazy what I'm about to say. If your son has never been in there and your son is weak and he don't have a gang or clique to back him up and fight with him and for him, you might want to set a certain amount aside every month that you pay, not just to give your son for money and food and drinks and clothes and shoot things they need, but most of the time you'll order the clothes and shoes. They don't usually have access to it. It has to be somebody assigned to be over their account to order them. You want to give them stuff for them, and you want to give it to their buddy. Because if they're not strong, and if they don't attract people to protect them, either the Nation of Islam or whatever gang they're affiliated with, they got their back. They're going to have a buddy or somebody that don't want to fuck them in the ass if that ain't what they want, but to have their back. If somebody's strong, that'll protect them, like be their big brother, something to be their protection to ride for them. I know it's blackmail and I know it's extortion, and I had no problem with what she was telling me. I'm like, it's cool if you know his friend. She was like, well, I know the friend, and he had to pay for the cell phone. That was like $1,000, and I paid for that. But then he didn't give the guy the phone, or he said it was a hold up. I said, because he's lying. He's lying. He keeps taking the money because he knows you're afraid for that, and they're playing on the fear and the love of the mother who's never really had her child in there. Okay, and the son, they're either playing on him, or he's scared, or he's playing on you. You need to talk to him. He needs to tell you the truth. You need to talk to the guy that's his friend. And y'all need to come up with a budget of what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. But your son needs to stop fucking lying, because that's not a food bill. That's a motherfucking debt. He's been extorted. Or he's fucking some nigga. He don't want you to know that the nigga go both ways. He's jammed, or he has a lot of debt. And you paying with your butt, or you paying with your mama's money. Just straight up. That's what the fuck it is. I'm like, I've been there, done it. Okay. I know that's what it is. And my son told me the truth. I'm like, do you need me to send you something for your friend? I already know what's going on. Don't fucking lie to me. Tell me what it is and we'll figure out a budget. Just don't lie and I'll do it. Anybody in their right mind will do that unless your son is a kingpin running shit in there. People work for them. If they by themselves like that, you might have to make an allowance for that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing being weak. It's just a budget you can handle, or whoever they can negotiate it with, so your child doesn't lose their life in there, don't lose their manhood. You know what I'm saying? Unless they want to, they just want to do that. I have nothing to say. Okay? If a nigga it's just a freaking nigga, a bisexual, he just might be a gay. I ain't got nothing to say about that. I'm just saying when you force somebody to do some shit. That's what I have. I don't have no problem with nobody being gay, lesbian, bisexual. If that's your choice, as long as it's your choice and you're an adult and you're not fucking no kids, I really don't have, and you're not fooling no woman and passing her disease and shit and with a secret life. I really don't, I can't judge it. But sometimes a mother has to make those concessions, because most time daddies ain't gonna do it. Fuck that nigga. You got in there and getting your motherfucking dime. Whatever happened to you, happened to you. You shouldn't have got caught in there. It's usually us mothers that are going to have the compassion and listen to our son if you care about your child. Because a lot of them don't have no mama. Because they either she don't give a fuck, or she on drugs, or you done burnt bridges because she helped you so much you disrespected her, so now you're on your own. It's different reasons, but most of the time the mom always ride with her baby. That's always her baby. Even though he could be 30, 40 years old, that's her baby. Okay? Those are things I saw, and those are things that I wanted to know, because that was my child. I never wanted anything to happen to him, and I didn't know. And I knew he was very lonely, and I knew a lot of the boys in there, because some of them I said could call me. Some of them I read them. Some of them have been my clients, and I talked to them, and they didn't have their mother or their family, and they longed for the softness and the comfort of a woman. Because there are women correctional officers, but they don't know if you're good or not because some of the women been beat up, been raped, been knocked upside the head. So they don't really get close to them like that because they know it's not safe. So the good suffers with the bad. They don't know a good young man when they see him because it's so dangerous to try to be nice to a lot of them. They take their keys to try to get out. They do a lot of dirty shit to the females. The females are more vulnerable. So when I would talk to them, I could feel it and I hear the pain and they would share it and they would cry with me and they would wish that I was their mom with the compassion and no judgment. And when my son came home, I knew he was lonely and he held me so tight. And I say, I learned more since you've been gone about healing you and nurturing you and about chakras and auric fields. And I need to touch you. And he said, Mom, I want you to touch me. I missed you so much. And I did things to get away from you. And I really realized how wrong that was and how much I needed you. And I blamed you for my father. I blamed you for everything. And it wasn't you. You did the best that you could do. And I said, I want you to learn the business. I want you to learn from me how to treat women and how to nurture them. So I taught him about their products and stuff. And I miss my child. I want to touch my child. I hadn't touched my child in like 5 years. I didn't hug him. I didn't touch his hand. I didn't feel his breath on my face because you can't really have contact with your children. They want to create that barrier and desensitize them so they could turn against their mothers. And then he got in the rap industry and they hate women. It's a homosexual energy. They didn't want me around him. And they told him behind my back, and he told me in order for me to give you a deal or the distribution, have me in the studio, we don't want your mother around. She can't come. She can't manage you. She can't be a part of the deal. We have men. We have other people set up. And then some of them was dick suckers. They like to fuck little boys and prey on the innocence of good-looking, beautiful young boys, young men in that industry, in the radio part, in the music part, in the movie part, in the acting part. It's a whole bunch of grown old ass pedophiles, even running the gangs, and they control that. The mob controls that, and even the black mobs and gangs control that industry. A lot of them are closet homosexuals and initiate the boys through homosexuality. They hate women. They hate women like me, who will not compromise, who will not drop it low, face down, ass up, and who have principles and morals and who will stick with their son and tell them, don't sign that. This is what you need to know. Don't do this. You need to do that. You need to own your master. Do that. They're like, no, you ain't going to own shit fucking with us. You're going to get rid of her and you're going to let us own it and we'll pay. You'll have free time in the studio. We'll set up concerts and everything, but your shit belongs to us. I said, well, and they told me that's the only way you're going to get in here. You ain't owning nothing. You're going to give it to us and we'll give you the deals. I said, you see what I'm saying? Didn't I warn you? But you don't want to listen to me. They don't want a bond between a mother and her son. They want him to be cold to women and use them and fuck them in orgies and get them a fucking plan B and kill life, kill children, and take no responsibility. They have not be a man with honor and integrity. You victimize women, you use them and abuse them, and you do not become a father. You don't take responsibility for where you put your sperm in. It's a good time. You're on the molly, you're on the powder, and you fuck them, you get them pregnant. That's all right because the bitch leave out of here before she go, she taking an abortion pill. Because you have no natural bonds and friendship and spiritual sexual connections with a female. The camaraderie is with us. And we'd rather you fuck a nigga or get your dick sucked by a tranny than be with a real motherfucking female. Because we ain't about that family shit. And that's where it starts, with the one that gave you life and brought you into the world. So every chance I got, I knew it didn't matter because women, when he got out of prison, women were all over him. He got more pussy than he could get to eat, get some food to eat. They fucking him and sucking him. And they touching on him, but you know what? They couldn't touch him like me. Because I never had sex with my son. I never will. But I am his mother. And he always said to me, hey, Earth. He said, you're my Earth. I said, yes, and you are the son. And no woman could do for him what I can do as far as being his mother, his healer, his way shower as a divine feminine. And then the other women can do what I can't do because I can't suck his dick and fuck it. So you can give him the pleasure, but I could give him the nurturer. as the creatrix, the matrix that created him. So I say what go and don't go. And I say how it began. And I say how it end. And I teach him how to be a man from a female perspective. And I teach him what type of woman to pick. And I teach him what not to pick by the divine example that I set and the way I treat him and the way I let him, not what I say, but what I do. Not what I say, but what I let him see. That's how boys and men view you and make their judgment, not by what you say, but what the fuck you do and what the fuck you don't do. So when I am touching my child, I am teaching him this is how a woman outside of sexual activity loves you. Because, and you need to get a woman that's just like me, that's a seer, a healer, and a teacher to teach you how to love yourself, teach herself how she loves herself, and then balance you energetically, karmically, cosmically, in your chakras and your energy field before y'all start any type of physical fucking and binding. Because if not, you will do a binding ritual in negativity and trauma. Her trauma as a little girl, you will attract wounded women because you're wounded. And y'all won't get along. And every woman he got what he thought he had something would do just what I said. They end up fighting, fussing, and cussing each other out. Because you didn't want to listen to me and you didn't want to pick someone like me. And every time they touch you, they thinking my pussy good and tight, so I'm gonna fuck him and suck his dick and do threesome and shit and let him run trains and do orgies. And you thought that was gonna keep him. But I know my son. That's fascinating to him at first because he was locked up and didn't have that and he wasn't fucking no boys. So he just flattered that these women are all over him. And that's all it was. And like I told him, if you don't listen to me, he's going to use you and your stinking ass and throw you in the trash can. And then you're going to get mad at me. But I tried to tell you because he wants every woman he gets serious with to talk to me and to see if they can get along with me. So I can teach them the spiritual sides of sexuality. And there is no power like the power of a creator that is your child, your son's mother. And you clean yourself up and you heal yourself and you touch your child in a way to elevate him, not to become a failure and stay out of his character, but to raise him up to become God. And that is not incestuous or sexual to touch your child. See, I never have understood that because a lot of these men be fucked up towards you and can't really bond with you and they don't trust you because they hate their mother and they secretly resent their mother because their mother stopped touching them. And the black community is so ignorant. You stop touching your child. You stop kissing and hugging your child at a certain age. When they go into puberty and mature, that's when they need you even more. Why is it okay that that child wouldn't be here without being born in your womb? That child is born naked. You know that child's sex before it knows what it is or that it's even here. You can watch their penis, circumcise it, clean their body, love on them, hug on them, let them suck your breast. Massage them, comb your hair, because I would massage my child. The bath was a ritual. And I would sing to him and hold him and caress him like he was a doll. And he would fall asleep with the sound of my voice and me touching him and letting him know I love you more than life itself. And I always hugged and loved my child. Then when they get hold, oh, mama, don't kiss me in front of my friends. They go through that phrase, don't hug me, mama. They're going to laugh at me. That's like a girl. Don't touch me. So I learned, don't do that. But when he's in private, I can hug you good night. I can kiss you and tell you that I love you. And I can hug you good morning and wake you up with love like my grandmother did me and cook for you and eat with you and share with you. It's so important when you eat with your children to cook for them and leave them alone to eat. That creates a rift in the energy grid of the womb and your connection to that child. Children know when you cook for them and they eat, and they have to eat to survive. You physically give them food, but it's not nurturing and you don't eat with them and you don't love on them. It came from a place of love. You know when it's not, because I knew. And I believe with every meal my grandmother cooked. She loved me because we rarely ate alone. No matter how tired she was, she would say grace, and she would eat with me at the table and my sister. We were never alone. She kissed us good morning and she kissed us good night. And even when I was grown, sometimes I just grab her, grandmama, mama, mama, I love you. And I needed her hug to feel like I could make it through whatever I was going through. And I could tell my child there was a longing in him and a loneliness in him for a woman's touch. So he had the women sexually, but he had me mentally, spiritually, psychically, psychologically, and emotionally and physically. There's only a way that a mother could hug and touch her grown child when that child has been in the belly of the beast, like no lover could touch him and feel, because you he came out of you and you are him. So you are responsible for filling him with life or filling him with death, like the whole world does. And when they are in those types of situations. So, and I have a class around it because I don't have a college degree for you, but I lived it. And I didn't do to my son what was done to me. And when he needs to hear my voice, I'm here. He's like, Mama, I just wanted to hear your voice. I know you was very sick. I always hated that nigga. I wanted to kill that nigga. And I said, I'm glad you're not here to do it because I didn't want you to do that. He said, Mom, I hated him. I always knew he wasn't right for you. And he hurt you. And now you're sick. And Mom, please don't leave me. And I just want to hear your voice. I need to know you're still here. I need to know you're okay. And I talk. He said, Mom, I just need to hear you. And I talk. Unless I'm just so sick or so sleepy I can't get on the phone. I don't, but I know that he needs me and I need him. And I don't know what my child would do if I left him first. I don't know what the order is going to be. But I feel that all I can do is give you love and develop you to be a very strong man that I'm proud of, and that one day maybe your children are proud of and your wife is proud to be with. And to teach you what I wasn't taught so I can break that cycle with the things I say. I don't beat him up. I don't say it's your fault you're there. You did. I mean, we talk about it because now I know the depth of it and I know what happened to him with my own mother and family doing this, but I don't just stab him with it. I just say, would you please tell me why? What did I do or what did I not do or what led you there to do that with your grandmother? And do you really respect somebody now? Do you think that's cool to do that? I said, if you had a son, would you leave him with her or my half sister to do that? You think that's cool? He said, hell no. Now that I've gotten older and had time to really think about it, no, it wasn't cool. It wasn't good to do that to me behind your back. I would never allow my son to be done that way. What I thought was cute when I was younger and so cool and taboo, and adults doing that to a child. He said, but I knew it was to get back at you, to hurt you. So I created a whole program around it because I lived it. And I don't care what people think about me or not think about me for touching my creation, for giving energy and love to my creation, to build him up instead of tearing him down, to make him what he was born to be, and to teach him to empower, respect, love, and protect himself. And realize he has the power and the magic to manifest anything in his world so that he dominates and controls his life and in his world. And he realizes he's the generator of his life instead of being victimized by his life and victimized by anybody and everybody, because your mother did not touch you and christen you a God to let you know what you are and who you are and where you came from, and give you the knowledge. And no bitch with her pussy, and no matter how much she suck your dick, she cannot christen you and ordain you and give you what I gave you, because you are my creation. You are my masterpiece. And if you fail, I fail. If you are weak, I can never be strong, because you are the best part of me. You are the masculine part of me that was designated and ordained to be God. And if you don't know it, I will hunt you down. I will hunt you if I physically die. I will follow you. I will torment you until I make you see that you are God, because I am you and you are me. And my creation will not fail. No matter what a bitch say that don't know who the fuck she is. And bitch, you don't know who I am. This child that was molded in me piece by piece, blood vessel by blood vessel, artery and vein, is a God because I spoke you into existence and I gave you a name. And you are my masterpiece. And if you are falling out of place, or if the clay is cracking and a finger is falling, or an arm is falling, or eye is falling out, then I, as the artist, the divine feminine architect of the matrix of everything that is born into a physical body, it is my responsibility to resurrect, reconnect, and reconstruct what I created and what I give birth to. And if you don't know me and you don't know who I am and what I was born to be, you're a dumb bitch. And what you say to me means nothing to me. Get thee hence, Satan. Get away from me, you stupid female. You are not a woman. You're not standing in divine power. You clearly have no children. And if you have them, you don't see them as God and goddess, and you have not resurrected them, and you don't understand the power of my touch as I anoint my child to be resurrected and have the God in him to stand up to me, face me as God. You face me as a man that knows who you are because you know who you came out of. Don't you live a life as a punk bitch ass nigga. Don't you live as a nigga. Don't you live as weak and a victim and inferior when you came out of me. Now I know what I am and what I came here to do and what I constructed in my womb and gave birth to. So if I see the geometric prism of your mind and of your etheric anatomy and of your cell breaking because you are so negative and fear and jealousy and insecurity and uncertainty, releasing negative hormones in your brain and causing your brain and your thoughts to produce an action to destroy what I created. God damn it, bitch. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm not leaving you to fail, because if you fail, that means my mission is incomplete and I'm incomplete. And now I'm living with a wound in my soul that could never be completed. If you die and you don't realize that you are already a God within and I make you be whole, God damn it, stand up, because you came out of me and there is no you without me and there is no me without you. And I will always touch you. I will always love you. I will always reconstruct you, and you don't understand it. But one day you will. And maybe my body will have to rot and be gone before you see it. Or I have to come to you outside of the body. When you mature enough and you know who the fuck I am, and now I know who the fuck I am, it makes no difference what an ignorant bitch says to me and about me. And I'm a psychotic bitch and I touch my son. Bitch, I know my etheric and my Akashic record history. And I could never resurrect myself to become the goddess and watch the God in my son falter and fall to pieces. And he doesn't manifest his destiny to become everything he's supposed to be. That's why if you listen to the video with me and him, Arrogant, featuring Alexis K. Tyler, I always talk to him like that. I don't want to hear that shit. Because my mother encouraged me to be a failure and said she was better than me, bigger than me, and I was stupid and then withheld knowledge from me, and I had to get it on my own through walking through quicksand or sinking in it and moving through hell. And I was determined not to fail because that's what you wanted. And I wasn't going to give you the satisfaction. And as a mother, I would never help my son self-sabotage and fail. And I will never watch him fail and not step in that shit. And I will never let a bitch who say I got a mental problem and I'm psychotic and I'm crazy get the satisfaction of seeing my son fail. You're right. I'm a psychotic bitch when it comes to what is mine. And what is mine is the male the God side, the masculine side of the feminine womb man, which is Alexis K. Tyler, the general of vagina power. I didn't know who I was, and Nipsey helped to wake me up and taught me to fight for my place that I wasn't given and to fucking take it and to stand in it. And I will fight for my child. Even if he doesn't want me, I'll chase him to the ends of the earth and I'll fight you until you see who you are. It doesn't matter what you say to me. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you don't do and where you go. I will beat you in your head with the knowledge and the sound of my voice to force you to become God. And a part of that is to touch, to kiss, to hold what was created inside of you and let them know that no matter what, who say, and what they do, and where you go, and what happens to you, I will chase you to hell, to the depths of the earth, and back on top until I let you know you are God. And I will not give up on you, and I will never turn my back on you. You would have to turn your back on me, and I will still haunt you and chase you until you know you are God. I'm so hot over here. My clothes are sticking to me because I'm in a sweat. And I don't care what any bitch thinks or says about me. I am fighting for mine. I am touching, holding, kissing, loving what belongs to me. And that's one thing that keeps me alive through this extreme illness that I have suffered. Because I will not stop breathing until my child is okay, until all of my affairs are in order to make sure he has whatever he needs. Because that's my job, and nobody ever did that for me. So you know what? When that class is ready, I'm going to let you know. Because as we know who we are, you know who you are, and they know who they are. And if you feel like you a bad bitch and you a boss bitch and you are special, then you must make your son a boss. And you hit them in their head with the truth and you haunt them like a ghost would. If you want to give them space, they run away, you don't know where they are. Let them get space. And then you sock their ass in their damn nose and sock them in their head. Not physically, unless it need be. You sock them in the head with the truth. Nobody can ever make me turn on my child. And nobody, I don't care what you say about me, bitch. I ain't gonna never keep my hands off my child. And I ain't gonna never keep my mouth off my child. And I ain't gonna never keep knowledge away from him to let him know that he is God. The more I recognize I am the goddess, vagina power, bitch.